Hey everyone, in this video we are featuring Tier 10 USA Premium Medium Tank T95E6. The tank is currently available for free XP or gold, so this video might help you decide whether you should get this tank or not. The tank is one of the best Tier 10s in game currently. It has received numerous buffs throughout the year and currently it's very strong, and I would even say overpowered, especially if you compare it to some other tanks, as this tank has no weakness. The tank has camo, the tank has view range, the tank has DPM, gun depression, hit points, mobility. It has no weakness. There is one weakness which is not even a weakness, but it has only 36 shells. Because this tank carries APS standard, it is not that effective in sniping, but you can still make it work as the AP shell velocity as well as heat and AT are 1067. They're not as good as APCR that you usually get with 1500, but nonetheless still decent enough, as the goal of this tank or the design of this tank is a medium that can brawl up close, hence you have that extra HP and DPM, and you can effectively do that as well. That's why this tank is so good, because unless they hit your hatch, the turret can also bounce shots. It's not that easy to pen the turret. Of course, your hull is weak and hatch is a weak spot, but you can use your mobility to avoid getting shot at the hatch. And if you're fighting up close, you will win the brawl because you have that HP advantage as well as DPM. You have essentially everything. You don't really have to expose yourself much. Usually the situation when this tank does lose is if a tank is a heavy tank, is hull down, you can't pen its weak spot, and you're taking time to aim at weak spots, and it can pen its hatch. But that doesn't happen because this tank can play as a support tank as well, and that's what I'm going to do in this game. I went forward in the middle. I wasn't really effective and realized that I will not win that engagement, so I decided to come back and play as a sniper. I'm at our base, or you call sniper nest. Usually you have tank destroyers in this position, especially if enemy has a spawn, but doesn't matter what happened. Even off the spawn, whenever I'm playing this map, our team would give up the sniping position, and this is one of the strongest position in the game as well in this map, where you have shots on everyone. I can shoot 1-2 line as well as the 9-0 line as well. Our team is losing tanks left and right, but I'm not really worried because I do know the tank has potential. You do, however, have to make sure to use its strengths, which it has many, right? Camo is the best strength to have in this game, and then you just combine it with everything this tank has. The tank also recently received a buff where its alpha is 420 instead of your average 390 alpha that medium tank has. And the reason for that is it is a 120, which also means you can overmatch more tanks compared to a 105. And you just outtrade your average medium as you reload the same time or probably faster, and also have much better DPM. And as I mentioned earlier, it has two weaknesses. One, not so good at sniping like M60 or M48 or any other tank, as it doesn't have standard or premium PCR. And second, the shell count is less, so if you're sniping, not aiming your shots properly, you might end up running out of shells. So you have to be careful if you're having like a big game or a potential of a big game, that you pen your shots. And what do we have now? The team is losing 5 versus 10. Not a great position to be in. We do have a light tank. And as I said, this is where the camo is coming into play. I am lucky that I'm over on this side, and then our team is covering the opposite side, and our light tank tries to spot everyone. The motion goes down in the enemy team, bringing the score a little bit closer. T58 pushing a beautiful shot into his side. And the shell velocity is not even an issue when you're fighting heavy tanks because they're slow, right? The shell velocity becomes an issue when you're fighting lights that are moving really fast. And somewhat with the mediums if they're fast mediums like Leopard or Batchat, but in those cases, they're big targets, you can easily hit them. Their team pretty confident, but they didn't know there's a dangerous tank camping the spawn and just punishing them for their every mistake. And before this engagement started, when the score I said was 5-10, I didn't have any damage. I think I had probably 100 damage. But that will change quickly because it has a base DPM of 3000 plus, and in like a minute or two, it can easily rack up 6,000 to 7,000 damage. Of course, if it's firing continuously. Yesterday we featured 907, and I did mention that 907 it is difficult to make that tank work. You have to actively try because it doesn't have gun depression or DPM. But this tank does damage easily. As I don't have to expose myself, right? I just can't stress that enough, that how important gun depression is in this meta. And just the combination of everything else that this tank offers, you will not lose. The only way you will lose is if you decide try to actively scout. As it is a big tank, you will get shot in the hull, and of course you get tracked and pinned and you die. But if you play smart, the tank can brawl, as well as play a support or even snipe, depending on what the tanks are in the enemy team. Scores 5 versus 9. Our team decided to give up map control completely, and now we are all hiding in the nest, which is kind of funny. In the beginning, no one wanted to be on our sniper hill, but now everyone wants to be in the cool spot. Waffle gets spotted, he goes down. I would have not killed him in that shot if I didn't have the alpha buff this tank received. But lucky for me, then we did. A light tank pushed on the 8-9 line. He is keeping an eye on that side. At least I know we won't get flanked from the backside. They have also started to cap pressure. And that's good of them because from the position our entire team is in, we can't really reset without overexposing. However, lucky that we do have a T249. The T58 is down to 1 shot. Trying to spot. I think in this game I'm not running optics. My original setup, at least for equipment, was concealment, loader, and optics, but then I changed optics to gun stabilizer. And the full list of equipment and skills are mentioned in the description if you want to check that out. So AX took out the waffle, the second waffle. The score is now close, 5 versus 7. 38 seconds remaining. I was hoping the light tank would push and at least get a reset, as he's the only one that can do that without taking any punishment. I also have 2200 damage. Night Sector got spotted, and I had a shot at him. Did not bounce, one of the trickiest tank to pen, and that's what happened. We bounced him this time. But it was enough for me to get to reset and buy some extra time. And the good thing about the situation we were in is their team is confident and they try to be so aggressive, right? And you can just farm them much more effectively. And why would they not be, right, when you have a huge advantage? Our Night Stalker goes down, increasing the score by, I guess we lost at 2 as well. It's 3v7 again. So we thought we recovered a bit, but then our team got confident and we lost 2 tanks. Light tank is still alive. He's keeping the guy on the cap spotted. The E4 gets spotted over on the other side, bounced his hatch. A heavy tank is pushing from our back. And wanted to get one more reset, as our light tank is doing a really hard, difficult job to get a spot. And I could see I will pen him. So tracks came in handy. T57 got unlucky as I managed to hit that sort of a pixel shot at him, and so did that T58. And that's what I was talking about. The gun handling on this thing is also very, very beautiful. Udis is exposed again. Easy shots into them. And the quick reload allowed me to put another one. So if you ask me whether you should or not, I think, especially if you have free XP and even if you convert it, especially when it's at a discount, it's a much better value. The tank was earnable multiple times in the past as well. And that's how I got it. The first time it was available for free with the season. So if you are thinking about getting anything, I would say get this tank for free XP if you have it. Definitely worth it. Pushing towards the MBT now. He's not paying attention. He's coming behind him. And he's out of the game. And just beautiful. Right, I was able to delete those 2 tanks, 2 heavies when they were running away, and then put 3 shots into Udis to come out of the game, quickly rotated, push shot into MBTB, And now we are winning for the first time in the game. 6,000 damage, 2,200 assist, and 5 kills. Night Stalker still committed. He's on the cap. But that's not much of a threat anymore as our tank destroyer is also pushing forward. Got taken out by E4, but our light tank is in the middle now and he can easily just reset Night Stalker because it is at T249. A beautiful shot into his side, and I bounced. That was, to be honest, this was a snapshot, and that's the reason I did. Didn't bounce the second time. Good shot into his tracks, pushing forward towards the E4. As I know I can take a shot, the only damage I took was from T249 early on in the game. And even if E4 pens me, won't make any difference. He wasn't prepared. A quick snap into his side and setting on fire. It was one of the games where the game or RNG wasn't my favorite. They wanted me to win. And as I was mentioning, you can run out of shells. Only 6 shells remaining. I can't even afford to run HE because of a limited shell count. So I hope they buff the shells on this tank, as they don't really balance the tanks based on shells, right? So that's it for this video. Do let me know what you think about the tank. Are you planning to get it, or you already have it? Is that your favorite tank, or you just ignore it? So do let me know in comments. So that's for today. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.